As I've been lying here in bed, replaying everything that's ever been said, many thoughts go through my head. And it's with this, I remember something that I read. But nonetheless, this was all a test to see if we could remember. Life was almost like a game, something some of us sought out to play. These words I say on this very day as the time approaches 3:33 a.m. and I am who I am, facing the decisions that I do. Here today, hear what I say. Because I was in bed, laying down, replaying everything that was in my head. Thoughts of things I've been taught, and thoughts of things I wish I was not. Choked up in the reality for everything. The truth of many things have always been something I sought out. It was like my purpose and my goal on many levels. When things started for me, it was all about the understanding of everything that was unfolding around me, for the events I was standing within gave me a deeper sight of the knowledge I held within. Although it seemed like a story, it became much like my own horror as I tried to realize the glory of everything for what it was. The truth and the magnitude for what it seems, for the information that I still know within, is the information that I've still been seeking throughout, only finding how much doubt many people have. And the doubt goes really deep, and it is a debt within us when we realize that. I'll explain something to you. Over the Christmas season, I don't celebrate Christmas as Santa Claus and stuff like that. It's celebrated as Jesus' birthday, even though it is not technically the actual day of Jesus' birth, but that's what we celebrated it as for what it was. And I had asked a particular individual in my family how old Jesus was going to be. If it was his birthday, how old was he? And the question just seemed to massively confuse them. So you've had a moment to think about it a little bit. Don't get choked up on the thought now. Now, what year is this? Well, at Christmas time, what year was it? The one we just had. 2021. Now, what most people forget when we consider year is 2021 AD. AD stands for after death. And I thought the individual in my family I was asking this to could figure it out as I continued to give pieces, and they couldn't. So you take the year of what Jesus was when he died. You add the year of what it is now. and then you'll get the actual age of Jesus. And if you can't fathom to wrap your head around that, then you consider that you believe Jesus is dead, and that he stopped and he ceased to exist if you can't figure it out. So, let's figure it out, because this is a big mistaught information throughout everywhere. So, Jesus' so-called physical death was at 33. And if he never died, and he continues, because in death he found life, because again, he only physically stopped, he never spiritually stopped, because his energy, his soul still exists. So you take the year 33, and if you consider, again, he never died. The current year we live in is AD, considered after death. So you would then add 2021 to the number 33. Now, how many of you are going to be able to do that? Take a second, write it down. (2021) plus 33. So you take the 3, you add the 1, you got a 4. You take the 3, you add the 2, you got a 5. And then you put that 20 right in front of it. 2054 years ago, on Christmas that we celebrate, Jesus was born. So if he never died, and he still lives, Jesus is not 33. Jesus would be 2054 years old. Now, do you consider Jesus to be alive, or do you consider Jesus to be dead? He died on the cross. But what came after that? Is there not an afterlife? How come people can't wrap their head around the thought of considering that he lives on? For those who want to claim he does, well, then you can't consider him only being 33 years old. And if you're not able to wrap your mind around that, just means that you're living in the old mindset ways that are just filled with all kinds of deceiving waves that are going to take you over, because you forget to realize the lies that were right before your very own eyes. That death is not the end. It's just a different beginning, where we get true birth into spirit, and the life we lived here helps make us who we are when we go there. What kind of life did you live? What kind of decisions did you make? Most people forget the information that he said, and it was so true for what it was. And that was, we were given the gift of rebirth here on this planet. Some people are misguided and misthought, thinking that Jesus is the only way. No, he came to show the way. But did anyone actually listen nor obey? Anyhow, what I'm trying to say is that when we were born here on this earth again, this was our rebirth. Who we were was reset. And the experiences we experience as we go through life becomes who we are. How did we handle it? How did we take it? For me, most of the time, mine was filled with sorrow, misery, loneliness, and confusion, because nobody else was able to find the truth nor relate in a way that was able to be understood, even to this very day. And now I'm here to try to say, I want to wipe all of that away and bring complete truth and nothing else. I don't want the lies, nor the mixing of all this information to cloud anyone's eyes. But I want them to look deep down inside and see all the lies. And to know that the truth is only the root of it. Because in this day, if any seed was planted within you, it will grow. But what seed did you see that was planted within yourself? Sometimes people often forget that no matter what, Spirit knows everything, and you can't keep nothing from them. No matter if you want to consider them light or dark, whichever you want to consider throughout it all. They know, because in reality, the truth is that nothing is withheld from Spirit. Now, Spirit still has their own decisions to make for the choices they choose to help to create. But within everything, when information is handed to you and that messenger is standing at the gate, do you receive the message on this day, or do you push it away because you thought you were still playing this game, not realizing that everything would remain the same or worse? Because without moving forward, all of us, including me, become stale and stagnant and begin to slowly die and decay because we do not have that motion to keep us going. If life is the foundation that comes from water, and information that flows becomes like the flowing water of life, because there is truth in life and in death. And I've tried to do my best to portray the truth, even with everything that has ever been said. There's a deeper message that has been written within our head. And our emotional guidance system was there to help us. But when we feel the raw emotions, it leads to a war that is very much real. But the war can become raw. And unless we figure out a way through it all, we will fall. But just because we fall doesn't mean it has to be the end of it all. Anyhow, I guess the reason people came here wasn't necessarily to hear me jibber jabber, but sometimes I hesitate on saying things because the biggest thing I don't ever want to do is give wrong or inappropriate or misguided answers, when I'd rather give the complete truth for what it is, even though it's not always easy and it can be hard. Sometimes the truth hurts. And if I'm fighting against the truth, then that's not what I'm wanting. When what I want is the truth. I myself know what it's like to be lonely. But I know I'm not the only. And there's reasons for many things, but again, how long have I been talking now? 15 minutes long enough. Let's go ahead and do a spirit box message and end it since I'm sitting here with it open. He who have an ear, let him hear what it is that Spirit has to say. These words are what Spirit says. Here we go. Well, for now, that will end the talk. Alright, that's it.